I just watch. I'm on X and I decided to just log off because it's too much misinformation on X. It's so much. It's so many lies that sometimes you really have to question the utility of such a platform and really make a conscious decision to be super discerning of what you are ingesting, because the amount of lies and the amount of misinformation that's coming from X is very dangerous and it's very corrosive to the zeitgeist. For instance, there is this white genocide lie that is being spread on X, especially with regard to South Africa. They are saying that there is a white genocide in South Africa. And as someone who has lived for many years in South Africa and has visited the country a lot, I can definitely say there is no white genocide in South Africa. What there is a high crime rate. It's a country which is battling with crime. It is under resourced. It has policies which are not conducive to crime prevention and law enforcement. It is a country with corruption on its running after it by the. It's a country with a lot of corruption, and it's not a developed country, so it does not have the proper resources and to fight this problem. So what happened is that the U.S. government, with the election of Donald Trump, went right wing. So with the partisan split in America, the right wing policies that are part of its foreign agenda involve stirring up right wing elements in other countries. And one of those elements that has always advocated for right wing policies in the United States is the this group called AfriForum in South Africa. These people in the right wing of South Africa have always advocated for separating from black people, and they've always advocated for their own state inside of South Africa. This is has been argued even before South Africa ended apartheid, and it is still being argued today. And hence, you will see places like Orania, which is a small town, which is designated for only white Afrikaner people. So these people want to expand that concept of Orania. They want to fracture South Africa in a way. So what they did is they lobbied the US government to adopt policies which are aggressive towards the ANC government. Now, I'm no supporter of the ANC government, but if you're going to fight them, you need to fight them with the truth. And propagating this lie of white people being genocide is so far from the truth that I am in shock that it is even being beamed to the world by the world's richest person and the most powerful person in the world, who is Donald Trump. So, what is actually happening on the ground in South Africa? What is happening is that South Africa has got high inequality. They are very rich people and high middle class white South Africans who live almost a first world existence in a country with millions of poor people. And those poor people are mostly black. These people live in squalid conditions, in shacks, and they're basically, a lot of them are uneducated, and a lot of them have no prospects of the future. So, what this breeds is a sort of resentment, and it also breeds this culture of crime whereby just across the road from Alexander, you can go to Sandton, which is a rich place with white people and white businesses and all those things. So what these people, what it has done is that it's bred this crime culture in South Africa, whereby the only prospects for the poor is to go out and do some pickpocketing in downtown, or worse things like violent robberies in vulnerable places. And one of the most vulnerable places in South Africa are white farms, because most of the commercial farms in South Africa are owned by white people. So these white farms are in rural areas with very little protection, and they are isolated, and they are like, easy targets for well organized criminals, because they know that these white farms have got guns in their in their safes, and they have money. A lot of these farms, they keep cash and in safes. So these are easy targets for criminals, and they happen a bit quite often. I would say like there are 50 farm matters uh, involving white people, and including black farm workers in a year. So now, compared to the overall crime rate, it's just a drop in the pond, because most of the victims of crime in South Africa are black people. So that's where the dishonesty comes from. It comes in, because the right-wing elements, they beam out to the world the crime inflicted on white people, and they don't mention conveniently that 90% of the victims are actually black. They're not white. So that's where the misinformation part comes in. So this is where politics is such a dirty game, whereby people are fed this narrative because of straw manning, because of false information or the lack of information, and because of these clips, which are like 1 minute, 2 minutes, and they're designed to tear jerk people, designed to evoke emotion, and they're designed to mislead, because people don't have enough time to dig deep into what is really going on. They've got their own issues, or their own agendas, or their own things that they are worried about. So they only have time to invest like 10 seconds in what you have to sell. So, as someone who knows South Africa very well, it's very disheartening to see people being misled and being taught the wrong thing. Yeah. Now, people will always say, what about this guy who is shouting, kill the Boer, kill the farmer? It's the same thing as in America. You have this extreme fringe people like Nick Fuentes, and who is the other one? People like Valentina Gomez. These people are they're so far out of the political spectrum and in the normal range of ideas that they're not really taken seriously. Like Nick Fuentes wants Black Americans to be put back in Africa. Valentina Gomez wants Muslims to be deported. These extreme ideas are not really in the mindset of normal people. So this is what happens with this Julius Malema. He's someone who was actually evicted from the main party, and he has a bone to pick. And he was evicted because of his extreme ideas. So every country in the world has such people. And also, the song that he is chanting, saying, kill the Boer, kill the farmer, it's a song that is born out of the liberation struggle, like from the 80s, whereby people were chanting those things in the fight. against the government, against the apartheid system. So it's an old song. And people are saying, okay, it's done. The apartheid system is done. Why are you still shouting the songs knowing that it invokes division? Now, here's the thing. You can't be having double standards. If you're in America and you want freedom of speech, and you're going to allow someone to yell the N word and say freedom of speech, you can't then switch your ideas when just because you've crossed outside the border and now it's a foreign country. You have to have consistency in your views, because he's right to sing that song, which is an old song, however offensive it may be. And people say that it's causing people to commit the crimes. I'll say that's crazy. You can't commit a crime because you are influenced by a song. The reason for the crimes is people trying to rob people for money, and they're very, very few. Sometimes if during the crime someone will sing that song, it's just nitpicking. Like, why would someone, okay, because someone sang a song, you're gonna blame the singer? It's kind of like, I don't know how to articulate it properly, but it doesn't make sense. It's kind of like that causation deal, which I don't know what to say about that. But all I'm saying is that we are being misled about what is happening, and this really makes me doubt a lot of things that I'm watching on social media. Because if someone can lie so blatantly about something I really know is not true, how many lies am I being told about what is happening in the world? And how can I discern those lies? Because now I have to fact check everything, and that did not used to be my job as a news consumer. I used to listen to the fact checkers and then believe them. But now I don't think I can even trust the people who are supposed to be fact checking, because I don't see any proper fact checking about this white genocide thing. And Elon Musk is saying the platform is supposed to be the maximum truth seeking platform in the world. If that's the maximum truth seeking platform in the world, we're in a world of trouble, because I am seeing so many lies on X, so many lies. What am I supposed to believe about what is happening with the rape gangs in the UK? What about in Germany? Is all of that a lie? How much of it is true? What about in the US? What about in South America? What about in Africa? What about in the wars in the Ukraine, in Iran? What is happening? How am I supposed to trust what I am seeing? So, with this advent of misinformation, there are some platforms which have come up and have attempted to correct this misbalance. Platforms like Ground News, Ground News, please come and sponsor my 2 subscriber channel. I need the money. But that site, it actually attempts to balance out the algorithm quite well, because it will formulate and aggregate the news traffic according to the where you are on the political spectrum, and then advise you how to get a proper analysis or a balanced view of the story, and compare and contrast the different sites that are giving the story leverage or the story power. So I don't know. Maybe downloading such an app will help me and you know, give me a proper view of the world, because this is worrying. You know, it is worrying that we are in this situation whereby we do not know what is real. We do not understand. We are like Neo when he was sensing that there is something wrong with his life and he should dig deeper, and he didn't understand that he was in a simulated world in the Matrix. So he just sensed that something was wrong. So we are now, because we live so much of our lives online, we are now entering that world whereby we don't know what is real anymore, you know, and that's concerning.